Oh, look at that.
Okay, I call the personnel meeting to order.
Yeah, call finance to order.
First thing we're gonna do is turn to page 5 in your budget packet. And we're gonna go look at the revenue for civil service, 1430. Last year was $2,100, this year $2,100, there's really no change in revenue. That means next we'll go to page 35, which is expenses. You want me to do this, Danielle, or you wanna do it?
You're on a roll, man. There's like,
You are on a
there's like
roll.
4 lines.
You
There's
can
4
go right
lines
ahead.
in one.
Go right ahead.
Oh, revenue?
Yeah. It's 12 lines total.
Right, but in the end, it's still,
It's flat.
It's still flat.
It's still flat, right? There's 4 lines
12,100.
going.
Right, so revenue is requests are flat. In civil service, on page 34, right?
Yes.
If you go through regular earnings, they are down because you've had a couple people leave and you have new people coming in at a lower rate, correct?
Yes.
And is that changing again, $20,000 then? But it's changing again, right?
Because of Melissa. Yeah.
Some of the new people coming in are $2 to $3 an hour
That's
cheaper.
longevity a little more.
Yeah, but what, 8,000?
And then we had some people look at that last year, that filled with lower.
20 is a lot.
Yeah, no, it's right.
Okay.
So, if you go down to, total personal services total, last year was 401, this year, projected for next year is 378. Any other expenses that you want to highlight, any point fours, Danielle?
There was a change to 4170. We actually lowered the CPR training amount, by $330 because we won't need that much money for it, to do it next year. And then we did add the 320 of the notary class and fees. And that's like in every 4 years to, just keep us notaries.
So your contractual totals are actually only going up about $140, but your overall civil service totals expenses is actually going down about $23,000.
Right.
Does anybody have any questions for Danielle regarding the budget request for 2022 and personnel? Okay, let's go to a couple more things. Danielle, you want to walk us through the agenda for the staffing requests for this month's backfills?
I will. Do we have to accept the minutes for personnel?
Have a motion, second? Sue? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, so we have DPW staffing. She's requesting two highway worker 2 positions. They are both due to resignation.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
We have an assistant storekeeper backfill. It was due to a position change. Someone took a different position in DPW, and that needs to be filled now.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
The next is a highway supervisor 1. This is due to a resignation as well.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
For personnel, I'm requesting a backfill of actually a personnel assistant for an outgoing senior account clerk. The personnel assistant grade is lower than the senior account clerk.
So we're losing a senior account clerk. You don't want to backfill that position, you want to change it to a personnel assistant and then fill that position. So there's a change in the staffing pattern, which goes to the full board.
Yes, but also also remove the senior account clerk
Remove
from
the
the
senior
staffing pattern.
pattern.
And add personnel.
And you currently have one personnel assistant. If we do this backfill, you'll have two.
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Dave?
Second.
Brian? Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, that's gotta go to full board. All right, DMV?
I have a backfill for a motor vehicle license clerk due to a retirement, in October.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
For county attorney, this is actually a possible backfill of an assistant county attorney, dependent on if she is actually leaving. So we're doing a possible. If it becomes vacant. Yes.
You're being proactive so that it does become vacant. You don't have to wait another month till we come back and
Right.
discuss this. You can move on it. Okay. And there's some degree of certainty that this may happen then.
Possible.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So moved.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Sue. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the public health director discussion was moved from, Health and Human Services. Tina McDougal was vetted with the Department of Health. We're just coming to personnel to see how we want to move on that, whether we want to appoint Tina to the position or go in a different direction. Which if we agree that we would want to move forward with Tina, it would have to go to the full board.
Okay. And this came from the HHS committee?
Yes.
Okay. And so how will the domino, you moved it, Dave?
I move to promoting the internal one for
Okay.
discussion.
Okay, I have a motion, seconded by Sue. So give us the dominoes here. We have an acting public health director,
Yeah, it's,
and then that person will go back to the position they were in before,
yes.
and then
If it were to be Tina, the fiscal officer position would go away, the second position, and, Tina would be appointed.
so ultimately, the three people that are in there now, there'll still be three people in there.
Yes,
But the person who's been vetted by the Department of Health would then be eligible to become the director, and Dave's motion is to do that, so he sends it to the full board. Okay. Further discussion?
I believe she still has to finish her education piece,
yes,
and it'd be probational, this would be exactly what we did when we took Patty in.
it's conditional, yes.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions on that? Al?
Just to be clear, there'll be a resolution to appoint her, and then there's also a staffing pattern change to remove that second fiscal officer position, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you hear me say that?
I just wanted, for clarity, the guy that writes the checks kind of needs to know.
Any other further discussion? All in favor, move to the full board?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, I have a couple of social services staff bills. One is for a social services examiner, and this is due to a resignation.
Sue moved it, Dave seconded it. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the second is a temporary backfill of a computer operations coordinator. This position was open due to a permanently appointed person that's on military leave. Tammy wanted to fill that position. The person isn't able to come back right away, so.
Got it.
So moved.
Moved by Sue, right, seconded by Dave. This was all vetted through, IT and HHS this
Yes.
morning, right?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Did you want me to, ask about my proposed position for budget time?
Yes, do that now.
Okay.
For the 2022 budget.
For 2022, I'm asking for an additional personnel assistant, and this is due to the succession plan in the, department. we do have one benefit specialist, and I'm hoping that this person can fill a void when she has vacation time and learn actually the duties of that position at a lower level to kind of help out with that position. Or if she were ever to leave, we will have someone to take on some of that. Also, like to assist with the benefits of the program and kind of enhance the HR in the department. So with recruitment also, and possibly help out a little bit with the lifestyle improvement program.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Danielle on the request? Okay. What else do you have, Danielle?
That was all.
Okay, so from our end, and hope you check me, we have compiled the list of the requests for 2022 budget. There are, a couple of them came in just this week that Danielle just was made aware of. There are requests to add people to the staffing pattern to their departments. There are requests to change grades. There are requests to change titles in several different spots. There are requests from mainly department heads for adjustments in salary. And there are other odd requests, including shadows and some new titles and making some changes. It's a pretty significant set of requests. Our thought is we will compile these. There's a meeting scheduled next Thursday, right, before finance at 9:30, in which all these changes that are requested for the 2022 budget will be presented to the board. We're just going to list them and go through them. You're not going to see them until Thursday, so there's no sense discussing them in depth next Thursday, but at least you get an idea of what's being requested. At that point, it will be up to some degree to the budget officer on what he wants to put in there, and when he presents his budget, it'll say what adjustments to point ones in this whole algorithm, how it all works together.
Yeah.
And then whether you want to discuss it as finance after personnel is your call.
I think we have union discussions, we have everything in finance, so
It'll be
probably
very
all
well.
gonna play in together.
Right.
My guess.
Right. And then considering the depth of these requests, when you do present your tentative budget at the end of October, it would probably behoove all of us if you sort of tell us what you included as far as personnel in point one, so we haven't got to keep, go looking for
I
it
pretty
all.
much always have, so I don't expect to do anything.
Yeah, there's just, but usually there's 4 or 5 adjustments and a couple other additions. This is going to be much more comprehensive. David?
So, on an overall basis, Danielle, you talked to, I hope, most of these people about their grade changes. The question is that some are natural regressions, but are there that many positions whose duties change so significantly that they earned a grade increase? Or are they just trying to find ways to get people more money?
Oh, Mr. O'Brien.
Some of them, the duties have changed, where they would want the increase in a different title, and the others are increase in grade just to be bumped up a little bit. Yeah.
But the requests coming to you for changes in their work duties are civil service oriented, and you can go along with that.
Yeah.
It's not your call to change the grades, but it is your call on whether their duties match what they're doing.
Right.
It's our call to make the changes in grades, right?
Right.
Okay. Is that
But
a little more clear?
when we turn down the upgrade, they have to change the duties back to what they used to do, not what they're doing now. That's the key.
Right, for those
They can't do the things there.
Depending on how you look at it, right? If you
No,
change,
that's the way civil services. That means.
I haven't said what I've said, so don't argue with me until I've said what I said, right, okay? If somebody is doing senior account clerk, but they're an account clerk, she makes the call whether they move up, and then that grade, they pay them for the grade.
Yes.
That's where we're at this point. I don't think we want to get too further in depth at this point beyond that, right?
No.
Okay. So you'll compile all this and present it to us next Thursday, all right? Then you'll turn it over to the administrator and to the budget officer to decide how it's going to fit in 2022's budget and what the impact is. And hopefully you'll have an idea the dollars and cents impact, so Al doesn't blow
Yeah, I
a
kinda
gasket.
gotta know that day, 'cause I got 3 weeks to put it together.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, there's a lot of changes and upgrades, but if you remember the first year we did this was when Dan Shaw brought it forward, he wanted them all to come to once. And then his idea was when they came, well, why did they all come? Well, it doesn't stop the upgrades. These people are doing more, which they're supposed to. They're supposed to be able to do more, and then that's why they get an upgrade. If they can't do more, they don't go there. And so I don't think there's as many this time as there was the first time, because when he brought them, if you remember, he was stunned, well, I can't believe there's all these when I made them all come to once. Well, it didn't change the numbers, because it's still the people doing the work, and we're the same size as we were, so there's about the same amount of upgrade. It's not that vast a difference. The bigger change here is the new positions. There's probably half a dozen to 10 positions now being asked for. That's the bigger issue than I think, than the upgrades. But
Not from a budget standpoint, but
Right.
if you did all these upgrades, the dollars and cents might be important too.
Well, but I don't think that's what I'm saying, I don't think the upgrades are that much different than what was asked for 2 years ago.
I can't remember 2 weeks ago, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I remember, there was a pile, and I just remember the stunned look, and you're like, no, that's what you asked for. That's,
Does everybody understand the process? Do you have any questions about how we're gonna vet this out? It just gives you a chance to see what's coming, ask some questions, and then ultimately it'll be the administrator, the budget officer's presentation to us to see what's in there. Anybody have any questions on the process? Sue?
I don't know if it's considered on the process, but I just remember Sheriff Murphy saying in public safety the other day that he needed 4 more patrol workers.
Mhm.
And, I was thinking that it meant 2022 budget by that request,
Mhm.
but I don't know where we would see that. That'd be in the second.
It'll be in the packet that you get next Thursday.
next Thursday.
Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't find
Because
it.
there are those, and there are 2 others that came up just this week
Right.
that Danielle didn't know about.
Thank you.
There's probably more to come.
All right.
Anybody have any questions on the process? Anybody have any questions further for the personnel committee? I'm waiting for Dave to make a motion to
This
adjourn.
meeting we had all day, just adjourn, don't wait for him.
No, he wanted to make the motion.
No, I want you to say adjourn so we can get out of here.
Adjourn so we can get out of here. You okay? No, Jim? Jim
Matt,
says not yet.
Matt, you beat me today.
Dan challenged me. He said I can be quicker than anybody else today, so doing the best.
Hey, but you didn't beat Cassie from.
We didn't beat Cassie from the planning committee. You haven't brought that. We are adjourned. See you all next Thursday.
That's not nice, guys.
You're complimented, Cassie.
Yeah. Well, I said that you had to be quick because my earphones and phone were almost dead, so at least you did that.
Okay.
At least he was speaking into the microphone, Cassie.
Yes, that is good too.